Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. I have a pretty little card for you that is a thank you card. As you know, I have turned myself away from Christmas now that it's Christmas week, and I have turned to the new catalog. So this card is made from the Dandy Garden suite using Dragonfly Garden bundle, and it uses some of the new products, and I'm really pleased with the way it came out. So let's just get started. Okay, here is my card. Isn't that pretty? Using some of the paper from the Dandy Garden Designer Series paper, and I'm using this paper and this paper, and I'm using this paper a couple different ways, but I cut, well, let me show you the pieces. Okay, so I have here a piece of this Designer Series paper that has been cut 3 inches by 5 1/4. I have a Whisper White base that has been cut 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4. Then I have a piece of this paper that has been cut 1 1/4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's going to be on the front of our card. Then I have, you'll need a big piece of scrap white to, well, I'll show you. I've got several things that I've cut here, but the inside of the card, let me show you the inside of the card. The inside of the card has a piece of Blackberry Bliss that is 4 by 5 1/4, and a piece of Whisper White that is 3 3/4 by 5 to layer on there. And then we've done a little bit of stamping, and I've added a little dragonfly element. So I used my stitched rectangle dies. I used these two here, the smallest two in that configuration, the way they set up, and I've already done my sentiment so that I could cut out my my rectangle and have it be straight. The stamp set itself is this, and in this I have used Thank You for Your Kindness, and I've used this Dragonfly. And this bundle is set up so that the two components of the bundle are this stamp set and then this punch, which cuts out a larger dragonfly and a smaller dragonfly. So that's what I've used. So there's my sentiment. Thank you for your kindness, and we can go ahead and put some snail on that straight away and get that set up. Just need to center that on my Blackberry Bliss piece there, and that's all ready to go. Now, I used my my punch a couple of different ways. You'll see here that I punched out a couple of different colored butterflies, and I cut out this one, the blue, and the purple. And I'm not sure which one we'll use yet because they all look good with the paper. This one I did mostly in the purple, but then used this, I think it's Calypso Coral dragonfly in that card, and I think maybe I'll go with the yellow one this time. So and I did something a little different. You'll notice all of these dragonflies that have been punched out here, and what I did was and in fact maybe we can get to that straight away, is I punched out several of these dragonflies, 3 or 4, and 3 or 4 of the small ones for each dragonfly. And this paper while it's sturdy, isn't as sturdy as I wanted it, and I wanted to show you an option when you don't want to use a dimensional, but you want to get some height. So this is 4 of those dragonflies plus your paper, and I want to show you what happens then when you put that together like that and glue the pieces together. You get a piece that's fairly thick, and that, if you're worried about postage on your paper, could go right on your card, and it would give you dimension in that it would be raised up. Now, not as much as a dimensional, but it would give you a fairly substantial feeling thing. Also, you can just put two dimensionals on the back, because that wing is sturdy and that is not going to flip around. So it makes it a little bit easier to adhere. Same thing with these little guys. I think on the one on the front of the card, I used, 3 or 4 just to give it, again, some dimension. And you can use liquid glue so that you can kind of move them around to get them to be exactly the right size, and then put on your outside piece, get it to match up perfectly, and there you go. You've got, you can get away with one small mini dimensional on that one, because that's now pretty sturdy. And then on the inside, because I didn't want a lot of height, I always cut more than I need, I think I just used 2 plus the outside piece. Oops, this one lost its tail, so I'll have to cut another one out of the paper. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this together. And I am going to use my liquid glue so that I can get these perfectly matched. So I'm going to add some Tombow. Oops, that's too much Tombow. And spread it around on my dragonfly. In fact, I'd like to have a little bit more of that over on the sides. All right, there we go. I'm going to, and they're symmetrical, so it doesn't matter on these dragonflies which sides you put together. So they all fit exactly the same. Wipe off some of that glue, and then when I've got that layer on there perfectly, I'm going to add a little bit more Tombow. Okay, there I have my elements all done. I put a few less on the one for the inside because I'm not going to use a dimensional with it. I'm just going to set it up to go on the card. All right, so now we're down to assembling and putting this card together. So the first thing we're going to do is add some seal to the back of our designer series paper here. And the only thing you have to watch on this is that you put the paper on right side up. Depends on which way you want your dragonflies going, but I wanted mine face up here, and then put this in place so that it's got a similar margin all the way around. Then getting this piece ready, I'm going to add some tape runner to the top and the bottom, and then I'm going to take a piece of this pretty ribbon and I'm going to add some dot runner tape to the inside of the ribbon so that it won't move once I get it put down. And then we're going to center this on here and then come right down the face of this piece of paper and push that into place because it's got a little bit of glue on it, and then secure that around the back, and you can cut off any excess tails. All right, now that is ready to go. So I'm going to add my seal to the back of this piece of paper, and we are going to add that to the front of our card, matching the top border of our designer series paper, and then bringing that down the page along that margin to the bottom. There we go. That is all ready to go. Now on this piece of card, you'll notice that what I did here is I wrapped a little bit of that ribbon around the bottom of the, or along the sides of the sentiment. So I'm going to do that again, and what I'm going to do is add some snail to the four corners of the back of this sentiment, and then I'm going to set my ribbon right here along the edge and draw it up on the card, and then secure that piece right on the back. Well, straight would be good. There we go. And so then this piece, we're going to do that same thing. I'm going to set my ribbon right here along the edge, and then I'm going to draw this across, and that way the ribbon doesn't interfere with my sentiment, but adds an interesting little extra element to my card. All right, now on dimensionals, what I'm going to do is put dimensionals on the back of this, and I'm going to set them so that the dimensionals also cover the ribbon, which helps keep it in place. Okay, now this sentiment, I want to go on the card overlapping this little piece here, and with a similar margin on either side. There, just like that. Now we also have these cute little trinkets that come with this suite that are these little ladybugs, and these ladybugs absolutely fit on a glue dot. So I'm going to set this ladybug down on a glue dot, then pick up that whole assembly, and I'm going to set my ladybug down right here on the corner of my sentiment. There we go. All right, now we're down to our dragonflies for the front, and what I'm going to do is grab a couple of dimensionals and put one on either side of this larger dragonfly. Now that dragonfly is very thick and not going anywhere, and I'm going to place him right along in here. Then my second dragonfly, that is the one that's a little thicker, I am going to take a single dimensional and put that on the back of my little dragonfly, and I'm going to set that in place. And I would say put this one in place relative to what your paper looks like. So I'm going to put him up here. Then I also did a knot bow. So I'm just going to tie that right on the end of my ribbon here. Just a little bow and pull it tight or semi-tight. And then we have a good side to our knot and a not so good side. So I'm going to trim off my ribbon here, and then using another glue dot, I'm going to add this bow right down here on the card, near the top of the sentiment and before I come to the dragonfly. And I am going to, I think, add another, I've lost my, oh, I can use my pick tool. I'm going to add another glue dot. I have an unruly bow, so I'm going to set it down underneath my bow and out a little bit so it'll capture the tail end of my bow tail there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one on this side also and put that into place. This really is an unruly bow. There. All right, there we go. All right, now then onto the inside, and I am using my blackberry ink. And my dragonfly stamp, and I'm going to add my dragonfly to the bottom of my card right down here. There we go. And what I have done, let me put that ink away, is I've taken my Wink of Stella brush, move a few of these things out of the way here, and this, because the Wink of Stella brush is damp with laying down the glitter, do you see it's going to move the ink around on my dragonfly? But I thought that actually looked very pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and color in his wings with my Wink of Stella. Okay, so there, and I decided not to do the body because I wanted it to be a little different. All right, so now, make sure that dries pretty fast, but along this side then, I want to add some snail to the back of my card. And then I'm going to add 2 lengths of ribbon. I'm going to do exactly what I did on the other side, and I'm going to add some dot runner to the back of the ribbon, and then put this ribbon in place. I think I want it right about there. And then I can just anchor that around the back side. One more. And then we're going to add this piece to our Blackberry Bliss layer. And center this on here, and then one more layer of tape, to the back of this and get that placed on the inside of my card, and there we have it. Now we have this little guy left. So I'm going to just add some, well, I guess I could add seal to the back of this guy. And sometimes you saw my seal just kind of made a web, and you can use your pick tool to kind of get that stuff under control again. And then I thought he was kind of cute right up here on this side, a little something unexpected on the inside of the card. And there we have it. That is my project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Or you could join my team. There is a particularly good offer coming up starting January 5th to join Stampin' Up! You buy your starter kit for $99 and you get $125 worth of product. And then the extra added bonus this time is you get 5 packages of designer series paper that matches the 5 color families and the 2 in colors. And so that's 5 packages of designer series paper on top of your $125 worth of product for $99. Pretty good deal. Okay, I have 2 prizes. The first prize is my month-end prize for December, and how you get yourself in the drawing there is to place an order of any size on my store, lbedinger.stampinup.net, or you get to it through my blog, www.inkingenuity.com. The second prize is that you all have put me over the top on 21,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. Thank you very much to all of my wonderful subscribers. And so what I have is I only have 1 package of this beautiful designer series paper that we've been working with here left that I haven't opened. And so what I thought I would do is I'm going to give half a package of that paper to someone who's a new subscriber, and all you have to do is subscribe to my channel to let me know you've done it. And then a second prize, the second half of the package of paper, and it's a pretty substantial pack. I mean, there's I think it's 48 sheets in here, so it would be 24 sheets of 6x6 paper that has 2 sheets each of all of the pattern pieces. And let's see, that one is, the second prize is for if you're already a subscriber and you share the video, then I'll draw from there as well. So that's it for me today. Thank you so much for stopping by again, and I'll be back soon with more cards, more projects, and more tips. Bye.